Hi, I'm Amani, and I am utilizing creative healing arts along my healing journey. For me, that looks like grounding, getting grounded, grounding several times a week. Um, while it is summer and warm outside, I am able to do it outside, and it's basically clearing a space because I'm gonna take off my slides so that my feet are actually in the earth. Ideally, I would be over there in the grass, but I don't think that I was gonna have a setup that would allow for that. So, hoping you can see my feet. I don't want to step back too far because I just cleared a small space. But anyway, that was my feet. And whatever I do out here, whether that's meditate, read, write, dance, sing, not a good singer at all. Um, Not even a great dancer, but I do my best. The thing is, movement. You're moving your body, and you are having your feet planted, grounded into soil. Another way I do it is to use my hands anytime I'm out here um, messing in the garden. That is also grounding. I also think for me, in the way my brain works, that grounding includes being at the farmer's market and picking cherries. You know, how you go through the bushel baskets to get what you think is the best pieces for you and your family. So I'm going through the cherries or whatever, the string beans, whatever I'm standing in front of. I usually like for it to be rain or cherries, so I know they're seasonal, but they're so good. But I'm picking through the cherries. I'm not just standing there picking through cherries. I'm tallying some stuff up. I'm circling back to something I needed to have done earlier or revisited it earlier and hadn't gotten around to it. I'm just taking care of, running my little mental checklist, all while I'm picking cherries. You know, that is grounding for me as well, having my hands in that fruit. Um, Probably way pre-COVID than now, or so. Yeah, but as an example, it works. So the point is to get grounded, get grounded, get grounded, get grounded, get quiet, so that you can hear what's been left for you from the ancestors, from the Creator. You cannot hear if you are constantly tuned in somewhere else. You gotta do something to get quiet. So even if you dance for a minute or 2 minutes and you say you record it, um, if the bum 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 wants to get you going, then you do that. But before you leave that space where you're grounding, I'm going to ask that you find something else um, that can quiet your mind and your spirit, so that you can absolutely um, give the respect that's being given to you through whatever blessing the ancestors are leaving. Whatever message God has for you, you cannot hear it if you tuned out. I couldn't hear it when I was tuned out and tuned up, drinking alcohol. Absolutely. 22 years free of that. Amen and Ashe. But this adult ADHD or whatever we got going on does call for me to get quiet several times a day. So I ground a few times a week. I want to say as needed, but because I really don't count, but I know it's at least 3 to 4 because I need that just to help regulate or reset my nervous system. It's a lot. Um, Anxiety, depression, ADHD, blah 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 blah. All all gifts of having to grow into myself and to know myself, right? Whatever it is you got or might have or have a fear of getting, don't be scared. Um, I just want to shout out to all the people, all the neurodivergent folk who share their stories, who allow people a glimpse into what it's like to live differently. Um, Even sometimes when those differences are not visual. Um, I don't know. I think mine aren't visible, but you might say, "What you talking about?" I see it. Um, but it's more in my actions, my behaviors, my um, absolute need to set boundaries for myself and others that I deal with. But really setting boundaries for myself, because if I get too out there with this anxiety and depression, it is now shutting on the valve for the ADHD to go into overdrive. So, the key is to know ourselves. I know that I need to have um, just times and space to quiet my mind, because it's 10,000 things. But it's multiple thoughts running through my head at all times. I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini. I don't know if it's because I'm a creative. I don't know if it's because of these neurodivergences things, what it is, but it is. And I really feel like now that I have a name for my behaviors and my behaviors that have behaviors, I know what it stemmed from, but I didn't understand um, the adult. Like there's a difference between um, 40-year-old me when I was recognizing some things and 62-year-old me, where there's in this whole blossoming of recognition over the last 2.5 months. Wow, 62 is interesting. Um, and better still than 61 when could barely move because I almost lost mobility. That's another reason for my grounding. I have to keep my stress down. I have to keep my stress down because high stress levels for me triggers a whole bunch of other stuff that people who maybe are not neurodivergent don't go through. I don't know what y'all go through because I've always been an anxious person. And God, in 2000, um, I worked with someone who was very, very, very anxious. Like she made me anxious being around her, and I just wanted to hug her because I had so much empathy for her because principal was not a nice person and ran her ragged. And anybody that talked to her or even looked at her knew that she was a little frail, and you just wanted to give her a hug. And I said, I just don't want I gotta do what I gotta do to stay on top of not becoming, not succumbing to that level of nervousness. And I'm a kid who bumped my head on my pillow um, till I was till I was about 12, till I really started, doing sleepovers and stuff, and I didn't want to get teased. But that was part of my stuff. I guess finding my rhythm, finding a rhythm, you know. So I stopped, and then I apparently rocked back and forth um, for sure through my sophomore year of college. Um, just sitting and rocking. Again, a rhythm, looking for something to grasp. So even when I catch myself tapping my foot and ain't no music on now, I'm like pulled out of it. I think I think that I'm not allowing myself to feel whatever rhythm I'm supposed to be feeling. That's what I think today about all of that. So I'm gonna when I journal today, I'm going to write, loose the chains. Why am I holding myself captive on some things? If my foot wants to tap, my foot can tap. I might be tapping out a poem. I might be tapping out the beat to, um, I don't know, something that means something. I'm saying I think that we should not limit ourselves and we should listen to our bodies and we should go with our natural flow. That is what I feel as an adult. Again, if I probably would not have even been having this. Um, is it a discussion if it's just me talking? I probably wouldn't even be sharing these thoughts. Wouldn't even be cognizant enough of these thoughts to share them in my 30s because I was on something else. Here, there, everywhere. Got to get up this career ladder. Um, gotta meet the right person. Gotta do what I gotta do for these kids. And make sure that they are good. And I was just running. And as life slows down, thank God, I have time to think about some of this stuff. I know I'm different, and I'm okay with that now. But understanding me and being okay with me are two different things. So there is plenty work to do, and I do it by having grounding at the top of my self care list as a creative healing arts follower and practitioner. All right. Peace, love, and blessings. Be good to you.